Vision 1. The Lonely Descent. Daishin slowly opens his eyes, his vision initially blurred and disoriented. The world gradually comes into focus as he lies on a hilltop. The evening sky is painted in shades of orange, the sun casting long shadows as it begins its slow descent toward the horizon. Daishin blinks several times, trying to clear the haze from his sight, as the soft, golden light warms his face. A cool breeze sweeps over the hilltop, rustling the grass and adding a sense of calm to the scene. Daishin, in his school uniform, adjusts his backpack and starts to rise. The weight of his school bag feels familiar and comforting against his back. He stands up, feeling the slight chill of the wind on his skin, and begins his descent down the steep path that winds through the hill. The path is uneven, with rocks and loose gravel underfoot. Each step is careful, as the incline becomes steeper. The sky's orange glow reflects off the distant trees and the landscape, painting the scene in warm, vivid colors. Daishin's steps are rhythmic, his breathing steady as he makes his way down, the soft crunch of gravel under his shoes creating a soothing sound. As he walks, the hilltop gives way to a changing landscape. About halfway down the hill, the familiar sight of a temple emerges from behind a cluster of trees. Perched on a rocky outcrop about halfway down, the temple stands out with its traditional architecture and serene presence. Daishin pauses, his curiosity piqued. He gazes at the temple, its silhouette framed by the setting sun, feeling as if it's beckoning him with some unspoken message. The cool breeze continues to sweep across him, carrying with it the faint scent of incense from the temple. Daishin takes a moment to breathe in the tranquility of the scene, feeling a sense of connection to the place. He wonders why the temple seems so prominent in his thoughts today. The wind rustles through the trees, and Daishin feels a gentle whisper of something he can't quite grasp. After a few minutes of contemplation, Daishin resumes his walk. The path now leads him closer to the edge of a dense forest. The ground beneath his feet changes, becoming softer and more uneven as he steps into the woods. The tall trees stretch up like silent guardians, their leaves whispering secrets to the breeze. The atmosphere shifts, becoming quieter, almost otherworldly, as if the forest is a different realm entirely. In the distance, Daishin hears the faint clatter of a train. The sound is distant but distinct, cutting through the serene quiet of the forest. Instinctively, Daishin quickens his pace, feeling a pull towards the source of the sound. The train's rhythmic clattering grows louder as he nears the edge of the forest. Breaking through the trees, Daishin finds himself at the edge of a vast field. The train is rumbling along its tracks, its metal carriages gleaming in the fading light. Daishin watches in awe as the train moves swiftly, the rhythmic motion and the sound of its wheels on the tracks creating a hypnotic effect. He counts the carriages, losing track of time as each one passes. As the last carriage disappears into the distance, he hears the sharp blast of a train's horn. The sound startles him, pulling him from his reverie. The echo of the horn lingers in the air, mixing with the rustling of the leaves and the distant chirping of evening insects. Feeling a growing sense of urgency, Daishin hurries home. The path through the field leads him back to familiar territory, but as he approaches, he notices that something is not right. The door to his house stands slightly ajar, creaking as if it hasn't been used in a long time. He pushes it open cautiously, revealing a quiet, desolate interior. The warmth and comfort that once defined his home are absent. The rooms are cold, their silence heavy and unsettling. Daishin calls out for his mother, his voice echoing unanswered through the empty halls. He walks through the house, his footsteps echoing in the silence. The rooms that were once filled with laughter and life are now empty and unwelcoming. A growing sense of unease settles over him as he wanders through the house. The familiar surroundings now seem alien, each corner amplifying his loneliness. He touches familiar objects, a photograph on the wall, a worn-out chair, but they offer no comfort. The emptiness around him feels overwhelming, and his confusion deepens with each passing moment. Daishin takes a deep breath, trying to steady himself. The familiarity of home has turned strange, and his sense of reality begins to waver. Fatigue washes over him, and the edges of his vision start to blur. The emptiness of the house seems to close in on him, and just as he hears the train's horn fade into the distance, Daishin's vision fades to black.